What's up, everybody out there? It's an exciting time here at War Room Sports. This week marked the launch of the War Room Sports Podcast Network, so it's an exciting time around here. But I want to invite you guys to listen to episode 197 of our podcast, The War Room. In this episode, we talked about Michael Phelps and his return to the pool. We talked about our meeting with John Carlos, the great John Carlos. We talked about Aldon Smith and his latest arrests. We gave out our awards, our NBA awards, and previewed the first round of the NBA playoffs. And we also talked with the editor of the Puck Daddy blog on Yahoo Sports, Greg Wyshynski, about the NHL playoffs and what his thoughts were on the new format, who's going to take the Stanley Cup, and all that good stuff. So sit back, relax, and like I said, first of all, you can go to WRSPN.com and check out our show and all of the great shows on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. But right now, sit back, relax, take a listen to episode 197 of The War Room. Peace.
Blog Talk Radio.
Free McNabb!
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to get the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4 for 26 or the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
Yo, what up, War Room world? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports. We'd like to welcome you for the very first time to the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm Devin McMillan, and I'm joined at the round table, as always, by Jimmy the Blueprint Williams and B. Austin. What's up, families?
Man, you already know.
All right, the NBA playoffs are here. We're going to preview them as well as give our regular season awards. In about 30 minutes, we'll be joined by Greg Wyshynski of Yahoo Sports to preview the NHL playoffs. But before we do all that, make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports so you can join in the conversations there. You can also call us directly when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline at 323-410-0012. The War Room Sports Podcast Network is here. You've heard us talk about it for the last some odd weeks. But you can now visit WRSPN.com or our main site, WarRoomSports.com, and listen to some of the best talk radio the Internet has to offer. Sports, lifestyle, culture, entertainment, and a whole lot more. You can check out shows such as The Broad Street Line with Roy Burton and Chris Domingo, Sports Trap Radio with Brandon Pemberton, the Gaffer and Hooligan Soccer Podcast with Kamal Hilton up in Canada, and so much more. You can make sure you get over to the network, check out some good shows. I've been listening to the network all day, and it's not just because, we run the network. There's truly some good programming on the network, and there's a whole lot more to come. So just make sure you get over there and check it out. And in addition, don't forget to catch us in syndication on Sundays and Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on FATZ.com. That's PHATZ radio.com. What's good, Generals? The network is here. What up?
Man, you already know, man. Yo, while y'all at work and y'all supposed to be working, you still can get your work done because it's all audio. So go listen to WRSPN.com so you can listen to all the great quality content while you slacking on your job.
Yo, and it'll make your work day go by faster. So, who don't want to do that? That's the easy choice for me.
You already know.
Don't
free McNabb. Don't free McNabb. Hashtag.
Yo. Listen, man, we're getting to that later, man. You about to let me go on a tangent. We'll get this. You know what I mean? They can free Boosie. They can free. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Boosie real. Never mind.
In that case, you keep Boosie in there. But I ain't say that, though. I ain't with nobody. I ain't with no. You know what I mean? I ain't with the prison industrial complex. We'll get into that, good brother. Let's get into this long show we got, because we got a lot of great topics to talk about. Not just that topic, because B. Austin is getting us off base, about to have us go on a tangent. You know how we do. You guys ready to talk about what happened while everybody was on the grind?
Let's do it.
Let's go. While You Were on the Grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, including the NFL Sunday Ticket, you know football season will be coming sooner than later, because the NFL now has it at a point where football is 24/7, 365. But if you're a true NFL fan, you got to have DirecTV. Go to our website, warroomsports.com, click on the DirecTV logo, or click on our sponsors tab, and get a definite hookup from War Room Sports to get your DirecTV.
Oh, get the hookup.
You already know.
If you hear me.
I shot the Master P. Yo, a lot of crazy stories, but here's the first one.
Master P got some drama, too.
Alden Smith.
Right off the bat.
Yo, that's
right off the bat.
Alden Smith.
His name.
All right, listen. I'll make it very short and brief. Alden Smith had a bomb threat in the airport where he claimed that he had a bomb on him. You know you can't. That's no game these days, dog. What's wrong with your boy?
No.
Yo, I'm gonna explain the situation. And although I have not spoken to Alden nor the authorities, I know this to be fact. Do you understand what I know this to be fact? First of all, Alden Smith is a member of a two-man gang of super athletic, hood ignoramuses. They don't commit crimes. Well, in this case, they did, but they're just stupid. They just do stupid stuff. So what happened was Alden Smith got in his bag and was like, "Yo, I'm superstar defensive Alden Smith for the San Francisco 49 Flower Girls. I shouldn't have to wait in line to get on my plane. And they're picking me out of this lineup. They want to search me extra. They know who I am. They know I'm not Taliban. They know I'm not Al-Qaeda. Yo, why are they picking a black man out of the line? I'm angry. I'm going to act like a petulant child. No, I ain't got no bomb. No, I'm not a criminal for real, but I'm going to just say some dumb ish and get everybody out of sorts and mess up everybody's day. So I'm going to act like a kid, like I'm 13 and scream bomb in the middle of an airport because they picked me out of the line and I should be on the plane already in first class trying to see if there's some supermodels up there in the leather seat who I can reach under her dress. Like, come on, man. Alden, I know how it went down. That's how it went down. That's how it went down. So from the gate,
I just want to know what's wrong with him, man. What's wrong with him? I mean, we know he's well documented. You know, he had the problems last year where, you know, he checked himself into rehab. He missed 5 games. And the dude still had like 12 sacks, 34 tackles. So he's definitely a beast in between that, you know, those chalk lines, and we all know that. But why, in today's day and age, when you know how they feel at the airport about certain things, why would you even say that? Do you think that you're that famous because you're an NFL player and you play on the defensive side of the ball? So as much as NFL purists know who you are and think that you're famous, in the airport, you're just a big dude with a Louis Vuitton bag. You can't walk around talking about,
big black dude.
I got a bomb on me. No matter how you say it, the word bomb will get you hemmed up in the airport. Come on, Alden, man. Come on, dude.
Yo,
really?
I'll be very brief. I think it's deeper than all that. I think dude really has a mental block or something. Like, yo, he may have early onset CT, because it's one thing for him to break the laws, and we know he doesn't have a respect for authority. But yo, that's federal, B. You in an airport claiming you got a bomb? Like, what is wrong? Like, yo, that's beyond the scope of just being an a-hole. Something's wrong with that gentleman, and he really needs to be checked out, man. You know, I feel sorry for his mother in his voice.
Now, all of the black protectionists are going to come around and say that we're speaking ill of the young brother when I say I really don't care if they throw the book at him for this, because that's just something that you don't play with. I don't care what walk of life you're from. You know, when you set foot in the airport, no matter what, you can crack a smart joke to TSA if you know they're pulling you out of line. You know, we all, you know, have our family members and acquaintances with Muslim names, and they get unduly harassed a little bit. But you just got to take that. You can't say bomb in an airport.
It's common sense.
What do you think is going to happen?
What's wrong with him?
Yo, gets wrong with him. All I'm saying is,
if the judge hits him up and sends him to jail for this, I'm not mad. I don't feel bad for dude. He should have known better. I don't.
Yo, all I'm saying is there is something there, yo. Something's wrong with that gentleman. That's nothing to play with, and I don't think, he has to have a mental, that's all I can say, man. It's gonna come out later that my man got early onset CTE. He needs help, man. Yo, get help for Alden Smith. That's all I can say, man. Let's move on to the next story. But that's not all I can say. The last thing I do have to say is this: Alden Smith.
We have our first nominee.
Nominee.
Yeah, first story.
He won it already.
First nominee.
I think he won it.
Now, B. Austin's arch nemesis, his most hated athlete in the history of athletics, has a chink in his armor. Donovan F. McNabb, I know it's not F, but Donovan F. McNabb has been arrested in Arizona. Why is a black man in Arizona, man? Anyway, but Donovan McNabb has been arrested. The mug shot was released, but now we're hearing that mug shot is not from this recent arrest. He somehow copped a plea that's from a DUI in January or something. But nonetheless, Donovan McNabb has some issues with the law in Arizona. More news is coming out as we speak, but I know B. Austin has some kind words for his friend.
Well, wait, before B. Austin goes honey-baked ham on dude, let me tell you the angle that I heard. I heard that, because the mugshot came out and there was no story with it. So a lot of people, have been speculating, but I heard a report from a pretty reliable source that Donovan McNabb got arrested, of course, in Arizona for doing 81 and a 65, but he was also charged with driving under the influence. Now, court documents show that this did happen indeed like 3 months ago. So I'm speculating that somehow Donovan McNabb has been doing a great job of hiding this. I'm thinking that they probably hired like a disgruntled Eagles fan into the Arizona Police Department to guard the public records, and he saw, something that he didn't know was there and leaked that photo because, photos don't generally leak without a story. But on the real, I did hear that he was doing 81 and the 65 while driving under the influence. So if this is true, because this is just allegedly, if this is true, then B. Austin's nemesis does indeed, have a little taint on his image.
And before B. Austin goes off, I do want to say that I also heard that when he got pulled over by the police, he threw something at him. I didn't hit him and landed at their feet, but he was kind of belligerent, like, on some do you know who? Now, this is all alleged. This is what I heard, on some do you know who I am type thing. And my speculation is this. My speculation was Freddie Mitchell was looking for work, and he got a job in Arizona, and he somehow came across this information. So Fred X, a.k.a. First Down Freddie, a.k.a. 4th and 26th, him and McNabb don't get along, so he kind of leaked this picture out there. But, shout out to Donovan McNabb for keeping it quiet this long. B. Austin.
Yeah, man. Had an image to protect, man.
I mean, I don't, there's so many things that you could throw McNabb in jail for. There's so many things that he's guilty of. I mean, drinking and driving is the least of the offenses in my book. So I think all cowardice should go punished.
What you want some you want some old Vikings type punishment? If you're a coward, you just get punished for being a coward.
Absolutely.
Okay, I respect that. Donovan probably got a spanking from Wilma when this came out because his mom don't play no games. But I think it's amazing that he kept it this quiet that long, you know. But shout out to him, man, and free Donovan, yo. I ain't with no more brothers in the prison industrial complex, so free Donovan McNabb, yo. At any rate, let's move on. I thought B. Austin was going to go crazy on him, but...
Wait. Now, you do understand that Donovan was facing a long stretch, and the ward said, come up to my office. You don't need to be amongst the good prisoners in general population. You're special. Don't you know Donovan would take that job and be the overseer and the steward of the prisoners?
But here's
don't
the thing.
Don't you know who you're talking about?
I'm talking about Donovan McNabb. I understand what you're saying, man. Another thing I want to say, just put this on the record, is you know, the whole thing with drunk driving. Like, that's a serious crime. I know a lot of times because of how crazy sports is, and you know, but some of the people catching bodies and being in gangs and, you know, killing their baby moms and hiding in trunks, that when you hear a DUI, a lot of times we just say, oh, it's just a DUI, but those things are serious.
Yeah.
We look at it as not being serious, and then sometimes it leads to someone dying, and, you know, but so let's not make light of the fact that that's a serious offense, man. You shouldn't drink and drive, yo. People lose their life because of that.
Should not drink and drive. Should not drink and drive.
I just want to put that on the record.
Some of y'all shouldn't drive sober, so you damn sure
Yeah.
shouldn't be drinking and driving.
But I know how it is with these athletes. They, like, it's so crazy, some of the stuff they get into, that a lot of times we just look at it like, oh, it's just a DUI. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's their fault, though. They shouldn't be this crazy. Anyway, man, Donovan, let's go to another entertaining fellow. Let's talk about the home.
Whoa. JoJo?
Oh, of course. You're absolutely right. We have to nominate him. If nothing else, just for B. Austin's sake. Donovan McNabb. Two stories, two JoJo awards. Now, this one may not get a JoJo award. This may get a different type of award. Let's talk about one Nick Young, a.k.a. Swaggy P. Swaggy P was seen out and asked a lot of questions about him being the star of the team, what's going on with Coach D'Antoni. And he had a lot of interesting things to say to the paparazzi. Did you gentlemen see this?
I just saw it a little while before the show, man. But
all right, well, let me let you hear what Swaggy P had to say when he
Jim,
by the paparazzi.
The funny thing is, okay, go ahead. No, I was saying that you were saying about what they asked him. Some of the funniest parts of the clip are things that they didn't even ask his ass. But.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I was going to play the clip. I don't even want to spoil it. For those who don't know, Swaggy P was approached on the street, and this is what happened.
Bro, Nick. How you doing, Nick? What's up, man? Hey, man. What's up, brother? So, you see all this? I do, yes. This is what I'm on, man. This is what I'm on, man. I'm dead man walking, right? I'm dead.
There were some people that said, you know, you addressed the fans at the last home game, and some people were saying that Powell should have. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm the star. I am Swaggy P. You see what I'm going in this car with?
Yes, I do. She's beautiful.
What I'm going to do with this shouldn't be legal. Hey, bro. All of that. It's in the backpack. Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about people calling for D'Antoni's job?
Damn, it's a shame what happened to D'Antoni.
It's a shame what happened to that dog.
I don't even know where to start. For those who didn't see the clip and just heard it, he said, this is what I'm on, in reference to his girlfriend, who he's pointing at the entire time, Iggy Azalea. The guy's asking him about basketball, and he's talking about fornicating with this young lady when he arrives at his domicile, and how he should be arrested for what he's going to do to her derriere. You know, that's
she's sitting there looking stupid the whole time. Why are you letting this
noodle
play
there not
you
saying
out
anything? Swaggy P is high or drunk as a kite, one or the other. But, hey, shout out to Swaggy P for getting in the back seat of the car and not doing what Donovan did and trying to drive. So shout out to him for that.
Exactly. He was twisted out of his mind, it seemed like, and was answering everything but the questions the dude was giving him.
He said, I'm a star. I'm Swaggy P.
Do you guys take anything out of his final answer when the guy asked him about D'Antoni's job, and he said it's a damn shame what happened to D'Antoni? Do y'all take anything out of that? Maybe meaning he might know something that we don't know, or is that just Swaggy P being twisted
that's just
and
Swaggy
being Swaggy P?
Being under influence. I'm Swaggy P. I'm a star. Yo, I can't really put any stock in that. Now, do I think D'Antoni's in trouble? Absolutely. But, yo, he asked him, what do you think about them calling for D'Antoni's job? He said, it's a shame what happened to D'Antoni. That's what I'm on.
I'm on everything. He was on everything.
Absolutely.
But
man.
how about Iggy Azalea just letting him, play her out like that in public? Like, why is she taking that from the likes of
well, here's my thing, right?
From the likes of Nick Young, though.
She's a
it's like when to watch their interaction on that clip. It's obvious that's just who he is, and she's used to it. Like, she looked like it's just another day. Like, she wasn't shocked by it. And I've also seen her in other interviews. I mean, but fact of the matter is, he pulled her on Twitter. Let's keep it real. He went on. Yo, I think it was on Instagram, one or the other. But he said, yo, he got a crush on her. Next thing you know, he's with the chick. So I mean, it is what it is, man. It's a new day, man. She's used to it, though.
It's like celebrities are thirsty for other celebrities and allow themselves to get disrespected by other celebrities, and she's more of a celebrity than he is.
Well, he said, you see all that ass? Swaggy P is needed in the league, man. He's definitely needed, man. He's the only entertaining part of the Lakers this entire season. So shout out to Swaggy P. Now, this next story, we do have JoJo Award nominees this week, and B. Austin's arch nemesis is one of them, being Donovan F. McNabb. But I think this upcoming story I'm getting ready to tell you about might be a runaway winner for the month in terms of JoJo Awards. This is considered the most interesting Wheel of Fortune moment ever, in the war room at least. This gentleman was playing for $1 million. Now, $1 million.
I think it was college week, too.
It was college week. He represented Indiana University, and Bobby Knight is probably rolling over in his grave because this young man, representing Indiana, by the way, let's throw that out there again, shout out to Isaiah Thomas, was playing this particular, let's play the clip, Steph, but the first one, he was literally playing for $1 million, and he had every letter.
For the people who watched him, because, I don't know, if you've been on social media this week, you've probably seen or heard these clips, but if you haven't, like Jimmy said, we're going to kind of frame it for you. The $1 million thing, he had grabbed a little $1 million whatever off the wheel, but to my understanding, Jim, it wasn't like he had a chance to win the $1 million. He still would have had to win the game or something like that, but according to these 3 clips, like the dude was nice at the game until it was time to solve the actual puzzles. Now, on this first one, like Jimmy said, every single word and every single letter of this puzzle was on the board. All he had to do was read it. This is what happened.
Wow. Okay. Nice solve. Oh, well, that'd be a good idea, yeah. Mythological hero Achilles. I can't accept that. Okay. Shelby.
I'll solve.
Yeah.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, boy. Well.
All right, fellas. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him, man? What's wrong with him? All right. Look. All right. Let's give him a little bit of the. No, I'm not going to give it to him, but just playing devil's advocate, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because Achilles is spelled, kind of funny. You would think, like, if you spelled it phonetically, it is like Achilles. Not, I don't know, but you are a college student. The puzzle, mythological character or whatever they said. I mean, come on, you got to start putting some of this together. It's a game, and like, I'm assuming. I mean, you go to Indiana. I'm assuming that you're some kind of a sports fan. I'm pretty sure that somebody that you've known maybe popped their Achilles. You might have been watching Kobe a couple seasons ago. Yo, what's wrong with him?
I tore my Achilles tendon not too long ago.
Mythological hero Achilles. For real, dude. All right, so that's not the only one. All right, clip number 2. The category is person. Now, everything except for 2 letters is filled out on this one. And what's filled out is world's fastest, and then there's a 3-letter word with an A in the middle. So it's the first letter is blank, the last letter is blank. World's fastest, 3-letter word with the A in the middle, and the category is person. Disregard the L because we got a little more of the clip. Listen to the letter he gives.
Wow. L. There's an L. Pick it up. You got both L's. So, 300. C.
Can I solve?
Yeah.
The world's fastest man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yo. Austin, what's wrong with him, man? The category was person. The category was person, and he said C. The category was person, and he asked for a C. So was he looking for the world's fastest can, the world's fastest cat, the world's fastest car, the world's fastest cab? Like, what was he looking for? I don't get it. What's wrong with the dude, man?
Yo, man, I don't know what's wrong with him, but all I'm saying is, man, Bobby, never mind, man. Indiana University is what this gentleman was representing, by the way. Had the shirt on and everything, man.
The world's fastest cane. All right, man. This is the last clip.
The last clip is the greatest clip ever.
The last clip. Look, we're not even going to set this up. We're just going to let you listen to it because it makes no sense, and he further set our people back. Yes, he was a black dude. So he further set our people back like 50, 60 years with this answer right here.
Let's solve. Go ahead.
On the spot dice spin.
No. Shelby?
On the spot decision.
Yeah, that's it.
Yo! What on the spot dice spin? Yo, what is wrong with him? Oh, come on, man.
The spot dice spin?
Dice spin, all one word, dice spin. On the spot dice spin. Yo, dude had Atlantic City on the brain or something.
Yo.
I don't get it.
No, that's not real.
I don't even know what an on the spot dice spin is.
Yo, that's not
He's
real.
from the hood.
That's
he must have had
real.
a dice game, he must have had a dice game robbed by Mobb Deep or somebody, and they put the hammer to his head and made him spin the dice. I don't know what an on-the-spot dice spin is. This is a college-educated person.
Dice spin.
Yo, everybody from Indiana University, turn in your degrees. Turn in your degrees. Everybody from Indiana U, turn in your degrees.
Dice spin. Yo, man, I have nothing else to say. Only thing I could say about that whole thing is, he must have never watched The Wheel of Fortune before. But I do want to thank him for the pleasure and joy I got watching that all week, laughing my derriere off.
On the spot dice spin.
And by the way, that's my new favorite hashtag. It means nothing, but I use it all the time. Hashtag on the spot dice spin. And gentlemen from Indiana University, all I can say to you, gentlemen, is this. You should be ashamed of yourself. The way you carry yourself. But we live in twisted America, so some people become a celebrity, yo. And you have, a celebrity girlfriend by 2 weeks, so he's probably going to come up on this.
He is. I mean, he's already viral. He probably, He probably not, getting any at Indiana U, whatever the closest university is.
Yo, he deserves to get something viral.
A smaller school. He probably the man on a smaller campus. So, on the spot, I can't with you no more, man. I'm about to do some on the spot birthdays real quick, man.
Yo,
let everybody know who's having a birthday on the spot.
Let's get these birthday shout outs. Yo, Rob, we'll be with you in a minute, good brother.
Wait. Yo, the digital extreme's not really open yet, though. But
yeah.
Birthdays as usual. Brought to you by Dr. Monique Roll of Alexandria Podiatry Associates. For the best and comprehensive treatment of injuries to the foot, ankle, and lower extremities, visit Dr. Monique Roll of Alexandria Podiatry Associates, treating patients in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area and beyond. Visit alexandriapodiatry.org or call 703-379-0700. But when you dial that number and you speak to the receptionist, or if you speak to the doc, make sure you tell them that War Room Sports sent you. All right, Theo Ratliff, former center of B. Austin's Philadelphia 76ers and the Detroit Pistons and the Portland Trail Blazers and the Los Angeles Lakers. And y'all get what I'm saying. Theo Ratliff turned 41. What up, Theo? Boomer Esiason, former quarterback of the Cincinnati Bungles. Boomer turns 53.
My birthday, yay!
One of the greatest NBA players of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Cat turned 67.
Inshallah.
And we like to give a rest in peace shout out to one of the greatest cornerbacks the NFL has ever seen. A lot of you people out there probably wouldn't know him because you think, great cornerbacking started when Deion Sanders entered the league.
Deion. Yeah.
We like to give a rest in peace shout out to Mr. Dick Night Train Lane. He was born April 16th, 1927, and he passed on January 29th of 2002. So we like to give a nice big War Room salute to all of these gentlemen on their birthdays.
Real quick, brother, I just want to send a personal, special shout out to Night Train Lane because he's like the Wilt Chamberlain of football. Like he's pretty much a legend. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, that's a little much.
That's a little much. We get your point, though. We get your point, good brother.
Nah, I don't get his point. Wilt Chamberlain.
He just wanted to call him a legend, but you could have said he's like the Elvin Hayes or something like. You know what I mean? Like he like the Willis Reed.
Y'all trying to play me out like I just did an on the spot dice spin, man.
Yo, you definitely did an on the spot dice spin, yo. You did an on the spot dice spin.
Yo, saying that was a gamble. I don't know. But hockey heads, we will have Greg Wyshynski of Yahoo Sports, the Puck Daddy blog, in the War Room with us right after we let you guys know how you can get in touch with us. You can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for the War Report. That's our weekly newsletter. You can click on the Contact Us tab to send us a message about our company, our show, or to inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities. For general inquiries, email us, info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, click on the Memorabilia tab to buy War Room Sports merchandise. Click on the Blog tab to read our latest sports articles in the All Fair and Sports and War blog. Then click the respective icons and tabs to like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our iTunes podcast, watch our videos at warroomsportstv.com, listen to our network at WRSPN.com, and to download our free War Room Sports mobile app to get everything I just mentioned on the go. So join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to create an account, you can sign in through your Facebook or Twitter accounts. And while you're at it, click follow to get updates and reminders about the show. We'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook and Twitter and the chat room during the show. If you want to call in and speak to us directly, dial the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline, which will be open right after our talk with Greg Wyshynski. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you would like to talk. So, I know, Rob, I know you're in there waiting. We'll get with you in just a second. But Greg Wyshynski, like we said earlier, everybody, is the editor. He's a writer and the editor of the Puck Daddy blog on Yahoo Sports. If you guys go to Yahoo Sports every day, and if you're hockey heads, then you know exactly who we're talking about. He's going to be with us in a second to talk about the NHL playoffs, which started yesterday. But have no fear, we spoke to him yesterday, so anything he says is not outdated. He's going to let you know his thoughts on the playoffs, the new format, and his picks. to get to the finals and who's going to walk home with the Stanley Cup. So let's go ahead and talk to him. Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir. All right,
real quick.
I got you, good brother.
Oh no, I'm there. I was just wanted to ask you a question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I'll ask you after. I'll ask you after the clip.
All right, let's go.
Okay, we have on the line with us in the war room for the first time, Greg Wyshynski. He is the editor of Puck Daddy. That's the blog on YahooSports.com. Greg, what's going on?
How you doing? It's good to be here. It's obviously like Christmas morning for hockey fans.
No doubt. And like I said, like I told you offline, we had a few people asking us for a professional's take. I know, you might not like to be called that, but, a professional's take, an expert's take on what's about to go down in these hockey playoffs. So we'll get right into it. First of all, let's talk about the new format of the NHL playoffs. What are your thoughts on the new format? And for the people out there listening that really don't know what I'm talking about, I'll briefly explain it. And Greg, anything I say wrong, you can correct me. But they've gone more into like an NCAA bracket style because the NHL used to reseed like the NFL does. So the teams who earn the best, seed throughout the playoffs, they basically get the easiest road if they keep winning. Well, now they've reseeded. They kind of have regions based on divisions, correct?
Yeah, correct. They do it geographically as best as they can. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to call a division the Atlantic Division when you got Montreal and Tampa Bay in the same division. I mean, neither of those cities are even on the Atlantic, right? But yeah, they're doing it geographically, and they're doing it like you said, with no reseeding is the phrase that I'll use. And the NCAA comparison is pretty good because I think they did this partially in the hopes that people find a way to gamble on hockey, or at least find a way to start an office pool around the NHL playoffs. I mean, you go to NHL.com, they got bracket all over the place, so that's the hope there. So yeah, it's an interesting format. They have some wild cards involved. It's a little bit complicated when it comes to that sort of thing. But essentially, what it means is that if you're a team like Boston that had the most points in their conference, you don't get a guaranteed second round matchup against the team with the lowest amount of points left. You're locked into playing whoever wins the Montreal-Tampa series, and probably you're going to have one of those teams have more points than another team left in the draw. So it's kind of not protecting the top seeds, which kind of makes me a little bit wary about it.
And also, isn't it kind of making it, well, I guess it is impossible now for two teams from the same division to play each other in, like, the conference finals.
That's right. But, I mean, that's part of the whole gist of this thing and why they're doing it is that they're more concerned about trying to force divisional matchups early in the playoffs, kind of guarantee that you are going to get these feuds, these rivalries early on to kind of whet your appetite for what comes later. And so far, so good. I mean, they got Philly and the Rangers, the Kings and the Sharks, the Blues and the Blackhawks. Those are three marquee rivalries that this new format has produced in the first round. So, yeah, you can't get the Flyers and Rangers to play in a conference final necessarily, although there is a chance that could happen in a roundabout way through this wild card format. Again, it's complicated, but basically you could have teams in one division kind of play in the other division depending on how many playoff teams there are in each division. Complicated, like I said, but if you look at the bracket, it kind of makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I totally get that. My thing was this though. Does it kind of like I don't want to say makes it less important, but the thing about getting a number one seed in most sports is to get that ride to well not to say an easy ride, but an easier ride to the finals. Does it kind of like get rid of that the whole power of having number one seed?
Completely, it does, and obviously the NHL would tell you that the number one seed still gets benefits. I mean, if the Boston Bruins make the Cup final, they'll have home ice advantage. They'll have home ice advantage throughout the playoffs. There are, of course, benefits to to winning your conference and having the most points. That said, the idea that you're going to have the easiest path to the final doesn't exist anymore because you're locked into this divisional format no matter what you do. So, yeah, there are drawbacks. It doesn't necessarily protect the top seeds, but it certainly does promote rivalry games early on in the playoffs, and it certainly does promote a bit of parity, too, because you're not going to have these juggernaut teams knocking off teams that have lower numbers of points all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I believe that on each side, and on the Western Conference, Anaheim had the most points on that side, and Boston on the Eastern Conference. Would it be safe to say that these two teams are the favorites to make the finals in each conference, or would you have another opinion on that?
Well, Boston definitely. Boston comes into this thing without question the favorite in the Eastern Conference. Which is kind of funny because they played Detroit in the first round, and while everybody thinks the Boston's the cream of the crop and the team built to win, it probably wouldn't surprise many hockey fans to see Detroit win that series, only because of the Red Wings. I mean, they've got the best coach, they've got Pavel Datsyuk, who's one of the best players, and they've just got this 23 straight years of making the playoffs. They
have history.
Yeah, they got history, and they're an elite team, and they're really well coached, and it wouldn't surprise anybody to see them knock off Boston, even if Boston goes in that series as the heavy favorite. Anaheim, though, doesn't get the same kind of respect. They've got a big point total. They're a great regular season team, but their coach, Bruce Boudreau, has done this before. He used to do this with the Washington Capitals, where they'd have crazy great point totals in the regular season, go to the playoffs, and then get crapped out in the first round. And I think there's an expectation that might happen to this team. There's not a lot of confidence that they're going to be able to be a team just because they're the top seed that makes it all the way through. I think you talk to people, the Sharks, the Kings, the Blackhawks, those three teams get a lot more respect as far as being Stanley Cup contenders than do the Anaheim Ducks.
Okay. Well, see, that brings me right to my question. We talked about the number one seeds, but in your opinion, could you just give us a couple of dark horse teams from each conference that could surprise everybody and make it, all the way to the finals?
Sure. It's tough to say dark horses when you're dealing with teams that have, similar point totals and that everybody kind of knows. But if you're looking at teams that might be a bit under the radar as far as making a cup run, I mean, no one really knows what to expect out of the Colorado Avalanche. They're the second seed in the West, but again, not a team that necessarily gets all the respect for being the second seed. And they're kind of an unknown because they have a rookie coach in Patrick Waugh. They've got a goaltender in Semyon Varlamov who basically came into his own this year and has been amazing. And they've got a collection of really great young talented kids, basically, that for a lot of them, this is their first playoff run. So they could be a real boom or bust team, and I think that they're not exactly mentioned in the same breath as Chicago or Los Angeles or San Jose, but they're definitely a team that could prove everybody wrong, and in the sense that they're the real deal.
Okay. I'll be looking out for them. It sounds like they can go one way or the other. They could either surprise us and make it all the way, or with the inexperience, be going soon.
Yeah, there's a few teams like that. I mean, Anaheim's like that in a sense. St. Louis is like that in a sense. I mean, St. Louis is a team that for a long time this season looked like a juggernaut. Then they all got hurt towards the end of the year and looked very human. And now they draw Chicago in the first round. So there's a lot of boom or bust teams in this tournament. That's what kind of makes it fun.
So, Jimmy, I think by omission, I think Greg is just telling us that there's no chance for our Flyers. No chance.
They're a funny team, right? Everybody had them written off early this season, and then they fire the coach. Craig Berube comes in. Claude Giroux wakes up and all of a sudden starts playing like an MVP. The thing that holds everybody back from giving the Flyers love is the goaltending. I mean, Steve Mason, their goalie, plays above expectation. He's clearly not the joke that everybody made him out to be when he was in Columbus. But when you're in a series and looking across the ice at Henrik Lundqvist of the Rangers, it's hard to really buy into Philly as an option to emerge from that series when the Rangers have such an advantage between the pipes. But Philly's another team this season that's a real hobby at proving everybody wrong, and again, it wouldn't surprise anybody. And what should be a pretty contentious series with their rivals wouldn't surprise anybody to see them emerge in that series victorious.
Yeah, City's
okay, so let's ask you this though. You gave us a great analysis of this playoffs, but in your opinion, before it all starts, who will walk away with the cup?
All right, so my picks before the season were Boston and San Jose to make the final. And because they're both still alive, I feel an obligation to make those my picks again. Boston, I feel pretty confident about. I still think they're the class of the conference, and I think they'll make it through. San Jose, because they didn't get the top seed in their division, they draw Los Angeles in the first round. That's a real tough matchup for them. Last time these two teams played in the playoffs, it went 7 games. The home team won every home game. It was a brutally tough, tightly played series, and I'm not exactly confident they'll get past the Kings, but I'll stick with that pick. And if they do match up in the final against Boston, I have San Jose, who's been pretty much a gigantic tease for the last 14 years as far as being a cup contender. I have them finally winning. I think this is one of the best teams they've put together, and I like the way they play. And I think this could be the year. If they can get past this matchup with the Kings, this could be the year for the Sharks to finally break through and win the Stanley Cup.
Okay. All right. We got the Sharks. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, or it could be completely wrong and be bitter about. That's the beauty of picking the Sharks, right? The beauty is that you can pick them and be right, and then you look real smart, and you can pick them and be wrong and be like, there I did it. I fell for him again. Everybody falls for him at some point. Like, everybody thinks they can win at some point, and then everybody's been wrong with them at some point, too. So you don't feel that stupid picking them.
All right, well, we're definitely looking forward to the playoffs, mainly because of the new format. I want to see how that goes down. It seems like over the past 5 years or so, the NHL has been the one of the major 4 leagues in America that hasn't been afraid to tinker with tradition. They've done it with the All-Star game. Now they're doing it with the playoffs. So, we're kind of curious to see how it all plays out. But, Greg, before we get you out of here, just tell everybody, where they can find your work, where they can find you on social media. Just do your commercial, basically.
Well, Puck Daddy blogs on Yahoo Sports are part of the series of blogs there, like Ball Don't Lie and Shutdown Corner and a few others. And we blog every day, multiple posts a day. My whole plan is to give you something new every hour when you're at work so you don't get stuck at your desk being bored. We do a podcast called the Marek versus Wyshynski podcast. If you look up my partner, Jeff Marek's last name, M-A-R-E-K, on iTunes, you can find the podcast there. And we do that every day from 2 to 3 live, and then you can find it on iTunes later on. And then on Twitter, it's my last name, WYSHYNSKI. It's not straight hockey. It's my own account, so I put a bunch of pop culture-y movie stuff and beer and food and whatever's on my mind on there, too. So it's a pretty decent feed, and just have fun, having fun with it. I've been doing this thing for a bit, and it's a fun job, and, it's never a boring time when you're a hockey writer for some reason. These guys don't seem to understand the concept of an off season, so it's a year-round business.
The Twitter account sounds like mine. People probably go expecting sports. It's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But,
it's those nights when I'm like live tweeting the Oscars or something where people are like, I thought I was following you for hockey. I'm like, well, it's not my fault that they decided to put the Oscars on tonight instead.
Exactly.
Well, Greg, Jimmy and I, we did a whole video webcast on our YouTube channel doing Oscar predictions. So you're not alone with that. I'll send that to you. You can see how we did. But again, we want to,
it's the greatest joy in life, really, to be a hockey writer that people read and then be able to tweet about inappropriate photos tweeted out by the U.S. Airways Twitter account.
Right.
This is
that
true.
Was hilarious. Yeah. I mean, we have a voice. Use it for whatever you deem necessary. But again, we'd like to thank you for coming into the War Room and dropping some of this hockey knowledge on our audience. Like I said earlier, especially on short notice. But you are welcome in the War Room anytime, and we will be in touch. So thanks again, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Appreciate it. Thanks, take care.
All right. Enjoy those playoffs.
Yo.
All right. That's Greg Wyshynski, everybody, from the Puck Daddy blog on Yahoo
Let's go
Sports.
Flyers!
Yes, sir. Me talking about Let's Go Flyers. Like I said, by his omission, you can tell that there's no faith in the Flyers this season. But I don't know. It's hockey, man.
Yo, man, y'all know I'm.
Seeding usually doesn't matter in hockey, but
y'all know I'm fronting though. Like, there's no way I didn't keep it real, right? I haven't watched an entire Flyers game this whole season. But let's just say they happen to win. You damn right I'm gonna be at the parade looking for some scantily clad snow bunnies. So and y'all probably be there too. Let's keep it real. Y'all gonna be there too.
No doubt. All right, so before we get into these hot topics, man, let's get to Rob out in California. He's been holding on the line for a minute. Rob, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man? Playing a little bit 2K, man. And go Flyers, too, man. Go Flyers. I'm a Flyer fan.
Who you playing with on 2K, Rob?
Right.
Let me hear you. What team you using on 2K, Rob?
We play randoms, you know what I'm saying? So I'm playing with the Rocket, and my boy, he playing with the Wizards.
Got you.
You should be winning, right?
Y'all winning, but it's tied right now. But dang, man, Howard can't play no offense at all, man.
Sound like real life.
Gortat killing him. Gortat killing him.
This dude don't got post.
All right, so what's up, man? What you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was wondering, Jimmy, you think we should keep Swaggy P, man?
Yo, for entertainment purposes only, B. Like, this season has been so brutal. But Swaggy P is needed in this league. He's needed, yo. Honestly, when I look at this team, the way it's constructed right now, yo, I don't know where we go. We need everything. Yo, it's like there isn't. You know how back in the day the Lakers didn't rebuild, they reloaded? It's time to rebuild, yo. I don't think the Lakers have rebuilt my entire life. They just usually reload. But I think it may be time to rebuild. What you think?
Man, it's like, because I went to the Lakers in the Suns game a couple of weeks ago.
Sorry to hear
that. It was a great. No, we won. I don't think we won the game, and our center Kevin got like 26 points and 15 rebounds. It's like my dad always told me, if you want to be a great team, you gotta have a big man. Let the big man play.
And I mean, shout out to your pops, but I don't know if I agree with that. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, we need a lot of help. Like, you know, if people think that Kobe's going to come back and just rescue the team, no, B. Kobe coming back to play with some trash right now. Like, now we'll see what happens in terms of the draft. This is supposed to be a great draft. You know, it's supposed to be a lot of quality players coming out. Do you gentlemen still agree with that after watching college basketball? Because that was the consensus before the season. What do you guys think?
No, I still think it's going to be a pretty good draft because, I mean, you got to remember college ball is a little more structured most of the time than NBA ball. So a lot of the young kids that had these crazy expectations that may have struggled a little bit, you know, their game actually might be more suited for the NBA because that's what they're looking forward to their whole time. So they're emulating NBA dudes, and then I worry about all this, you know, structure that comes with college ball.
No, because, like, I think some of the college players should stay because, to me, they need to develop their skills. They think that they need to develop more basketball skills. They think that they feel compelled to come because of their athleticism. Athleticism will get you there, but to keep you there is going to be your basketball skills, man.
Well, let me ask you a question, Rob. People always say that they should stay and work on their skills. But it's not just staying and working on your skills. It's staying, having to go to class or do classwork. It's performing and not getting paid for it. And you ain't there exactly. I could see if this was like a traditional league where they got paid and just got paid to work in the game like a farm system, but it's not. It's kind of like they got a free farm system, and we're not going to get into the college sports industrial complex, as I like to call it. But the fact of the matter is, to stay to work on your game, you have a lot of other things, other responsibilities you have to do. So it's not as easy as saying, hey, you should stay and work on your game, because you got to stay and work on your game and do your English paper. Unless you go to North Carolina and you – not mine. But,
oh, really, dog?
I'm just saying. Let's keep it a bean.
You know what I mean? They was
Yo,
doing
they be in North
two-paragraph
Carolina
essays.
like Murray had a
Murray
little lamb.
Little lamb. Shout out to Martin. Murray. Anyway, Rob, thanks for the support as always, good brother, and thanks for the call, man. How's the weather in L.A.?
It's cloudy right now, but summertime come around, sometimes. And also shout out to Swaggy P, a.k.a. typical L.A. dude, basketball player coming here and not dating black women, doing nothing for the community.
Whoa!
Fired, Rob, man.
He's undisciplined. He celebrates after every three-pointer. He's immature. Get him off the team. I'm sorry.
Rob,
all right, we know how you feel.
If you had a chance to smash Iggy, you wouldn't rock. Let's keep it a bean.
You're kicking him off the team. You're kicking him off the team for going after the other white meat. I mean, come on, man.
Rob.
No, not him. No, not because of that. Because he's immature, undisciplined. We want ballers here. Kobe wants to play with ballers. We don't want to play with personalities, dude.
Rob, let me ask you one quick question before we go. If you had a chance to smash Iggy, you wouldn't, though?
Hey, man, I love sisters, though.
Not
man.
Andre.
I mean, Iggy is
I love sisters, too, but let's keep it a beam, man. Stop playing, yo.
I would smash Wade, the other woman.
You corny. All right, yo, we can holler at you next week, Rob.
All right, Rob.
All right.
Iggy will get diggy.
I'm about to say, y'all full of it. Y'all say Iggy can't, y'all mean, with the y'all mean.
All right, man, let's talk some hot topics real quick, man. And Jimmy, hot topics are brought to the people by.
Hot topics are brought to you by Audible. If your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, try audiobooks and kick back and let someone else do the reading for you. Go to audibletrial.com/warroomsports. You can actually get a free audiobook. Right now, I'm listening to Mark Echo's book, and I'm getting ready to start Sugar Ray Leonard's book, believe it or not. I know B. Austin thinks he's overrated, but I'm going to hear a little bit about his story. You know, I do a lot of sports biographies, so I'm about to, jump into Sugar Ray Leonard's biography. But you can get any of those books. Just go to audibletrial.com/warroomsports. You get a free one just for trying that. That's audibletrial.com/warroomsports.
Man, Sugar wrote a book. Sugar be on his Murray John, too. Murray.
Yeah,
all right.
You can't speak.
Well, real quick, we want to definitely give a shout-out because for the second year in a row, War Room Sports was in attendance at Temple University for Passing the Ball, the Race and Sports Conference. Shout out to Drew Brown and everybody up there who put that together for a second year in a row. It was just like last year. It was an eye-opening experience in some ways, and just what we expected in a lot of other ways, because we always tell you guys that sports is a microcosm of society. So the stuff that's happening in society happening in sports. So muted that. How did you enjoy the conference this year?
It was a lot of great talk, a lot of great dialogues. There were intellectuals from all over the country, a lot of PhDs and professors, come to this event and just have a great dialogue in reference to race and sports. I know a lot of people like to say, keep that out of sports. Race is a part of life, whether you like it or not. A lot of human rights issues were talked about and how it relates to sports, and we also had the honor of meeting the great John Carlos and hearing a lot more of his story, and that is something I'll never forget. Me and Dev had a chance to talk to him, and shout out to Dr. John Carlos. He told us his story, and it's just amazing because, I know everybody knows the iconic image. And for those who don't know who John Carlos is, just Google him. He participated in 1968 Olympics, the whole raising of the fist, the Black Power picture, as a lot of people like to call it. He's part of that. But to hear the stories about what led up to that and also what happened after that were eye-opening and, life-changing in some ways. And to hear his affiliation with Malcolm X as well as, a lot of other people, very interesting. The guy has a lot of history with him. So, I won't forget that at all.
Well, speaking of that history, if you guys look on our Facebook page and our Instagram page, you can see that Jimmy and I got his book while we were there, so we're going to read up on that history and let you guys know how it is once we finish. We got the book signed, so we won't be actually using that version of it, But Jimmy, you said, like, one thing a lot of people don't understand, and for those out there who still have no clue who we're talking about, like Jimmy said, the iconic image of John Carlos and Tommy Smith being on the podium from the 1968 Olympics where they gave the quote-unquote Black Power salute with the fist in the air. If you still don't know who we're talking about, like Jimmy said, just Google it. But the interesting part that I found about the story, Jimmy, was that he totally said that it wasn't a Black Power salute. He said what they were up there fighting for was human rights, you know, all around.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I started doing a little bit of reading after that, and the organization that he represented while being up there was a human rights organization.
Right.
And also what I didn't know until having to meet him and hear the story with a gentleman from Australia who was on the podium with him, the white guy. He helped out and had a part to do with it as well. So there's a lot of things I learned that I didn't know. And like I said on our social media pages, the one thing that I took from that, which was like amazing, well, not amazing, I shouldn't use the word amazing, but it was like it was moving, is when he talked about what happened after coming back from the Olympics. Because we see these images, we see people marching, but we don't see the struggle they go through. And he talked about getting shunned by family and friends, having his house vandalized, his kids, teachers just dropping their grades because they were his kids. Because we look at the picture now and say, wow, what a picture, but we don't know that at the time he was hated. He was considered anti-American. So he had to go through a 20-year period where he couldn't get work.
Marriage broke up because of this?
Yeah, and there's a lot of other things that I don't want to put out there because they're all in the book, and you can definitely cop his book on Amazon and all that. But a lot of interesting history that we learned about Dr. Carlos, but a lot of great dialogue.
Oftentimes, all we see is the end result of the sacrifices and the symbols, and to know the true sacrifice or hear the person's story, it just touches your heart and your soul to hear them go through so much stuff to get to where we see and recognize the story. And these are just human beings just like us that have families, that have wives, that have kids, and their kids and how what they went through affected their children and their loved ones, man. It's an amazing, journey is an amazing journey.
Because there are people now, and we always talk about why athletes now don't take a stand, and I think part of the reason is they don't want to go through what people in the past have gone through in terms of what they lost. Everybody's concerned with their brand now, so they don't want to lose the revenue, the admiration. But guys have made real sacrifices, and it's funny because he even threw a couple of shots at some well-known individuals. I won't even name their name, but he threw a shot at some even African Americans, because he said that now it's easy to jump in and fight and say things, but when were you willing to give up things in the past? And he took a shot at some celebrities who now speak out against things, but they weren't there when they had the biggest stage. Yeah, not only when they had the biggest stage, but when it was a chance they could really lose something. Now the world is more liberal, so you can say things, and still have your niche and still do what you do. But when it's a chance for you to really lose something, where were you then? So it's just interesting, B. Austin, and you make a lot of great points, but to actually meet someone and hear their story and have him tell us a lot of the great history was amazing. So shout out to Dr. John Carlos in that whole event.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, we learn stuff every year when we go to that event. Like last year was, we learned about Moses Fleetwood Walker actually being the first black dude to play in the major leagues. We learned about the black women who actually played in the Negro Leagues because they weren't allowed to play in that women's league that we all know from the movie A League of Their Own. This year was John Carlos' story and a few other things that were interesting. So, again, shout out to Drew Brown and everybody who puts that together every year. We're actually going to have him on the show sometime soon, so you guys look out for that. All right. Bubba Watson won his second Masters, and his second Masters in 3 years. However, which, we probably would have expected, the ratings for the Masters were down, B. Austin. There was no Tiger Woods in any of the tournament. There was no Phil Mickelson because he basically just didn't make the cut. So last year, let me see, the comparisons and the Nielsen rating was last year on Sunday, the final day of the Masters. They got a 10.2 rating. But if you remember last year, Tiger was still in contention. You know, it was a pretty good field and pretty good drama heading down the stretch. This year, Bubba kind of, ran off with it. He won by 3 strokes, but without Tiger and Phil, the ratings were only a 7.8 compared to that 10.2 last year. In the third round, last year they got a 6.3, and this year they got a 4.4. So it's basically what we discussed prior to the Masters beginning. Like we knew that the golf purists were going to be there, but we know, what kind of crowd Tiger brings with him, whether he's playing great or not. And when he's playing well, that just makes it all, it just makes it that much better. So it's nothing that we didn't expect to happen.
The casual golf fan, the nosy housewife, just the general sports enthusiasts such as us that aren't necessarily super golf enthusiasts, but just into current events where sports are concerned, are going to tune in just to see whether Tiger's going to fail, just to enjoy history, just to curse Tiger out, just to say what a womanizer he is. Whatever your relationship with Tiger Woods is, that's why you tune in. Phil Mickelson not being
it's kind of like
doesn't matter.
Well, I'm not going to say that either, because without Tiger going at all, I still think if Phil Mickelson would have made the cut and would have been in contention the final day, I think the ratings would have been a little better. So I'm not going to dismiss his impact on the game as well. But it's kind of like with Tiger, it's kind of like a Floyd Mayweather thing in boxing. Like, he's going to move the meter, and like you said, 50% of those people might be Tiger stands, but then but the other 50% might want to see Floyd get his boot stretched. So it's one of those things. You're going to move the meter either way because people love you and people hate you. So
here's the thing.
Will Tiger win another Masters? Will Tiger win another Masters?
All right, here's the bottom line, gentlemen. Just in the bud, this whole golf talk is the fact of the matter is Bubba Watson won his second Masters, and our entire conversation is about Tiger Woods. That right there is proof positive of everything you're saying.
Bubba the truth, though. Bubba had his victory dinner at Waffle House.
Bubba is nice.
And tweeted a picture from there.
Nice.
And his name Bubba.
But there
you ever
was
think somebody named Bubba
drama.
would win the Masters twice?
Dev, and I took this from you, right? Where you watch guys and you don't know what's genuine anymore. But the fact of the matter is, if you watch how Bubba Watson is marketed, he's marketed as the average guy, the everyday guy, the blue collar guy, down to he always brings up where he's from. His name is Bubba. Right. So the whole Twitter picture from like Denny's, I didn't know whether that was like genuine or that's just
Waffle
that's
House.
his team at work. You know what I mean? Like,
I guarantee you, he got a deal with Waffle House, so they probably, Brody marketing.
Exactly. So that's all.
But Bubba also, he's one of those guys. After he wins, you see him crying and hugging his kids and hugging his wife, and everybody's watching his moves. So like you said, you don't know if it's a part of the act.
You don't know what's real no more.
Really, what dude is. But real quick before we move on, let's go to the digital
family guy.
Let's go to the Digital Extreme hotline real quick. We got Vinny on the line. Vinny, what's going on, bro? You in the war room?
What's going on, Jimmy? I heard you talking about the Lakers earlier, man. I'm a big fan. I'm hurting right now. I was just looking at the game the other day.
Right? As a Lakers fan, right? You're used to the Lakers all the time just picking up a free agent and, just always reloading as opposed to rebuilding. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen them, like, this bad. And I'm talking about going back to the day Magic stepped on the court as a Laker. Like, I don't know if – and they had some bad days, like, in between Magic and, say, Kobe, where their best player was, like, Cedric Sabalas, but not this bad. This is bad.
Because they put up
the
Smush
team was better than this. The whole Smush team was better than this. The Smush Parker team was better than this.
They were better than this. Yeah, this is bad, man. This is real bad.
Smush Parker, word, right? But this is the worst record they had since they moved to L.A., and the Clippers got the best record in their history. I think the world is tilted on its axis. Some crazy stuff is going on.
That's why it was snowing yesterday, yo. Think about
crazy.
this,
though.
Speaking of that, this is the first time in the history of the NBA that the Lakers, Celtics, and Knicks haven't made the playoffs at the same time, ever.
Somebody told me that earlier. I know that's shocking. And Sixers too, but I ain't shocked about them. But anyway,
see,
I don't know.
but the funny part about that stat, Jimmy, the funny thing about that fact is that the Lakers actually carry that fact.
They do.
Because the Knicks barely are in the playoffs. The Celtics, before they copped the big three, were trash. So it's like the Lakers really carry that whole stat because they're in the playoffs every year, minus this year and one of the smush years. Which is
right. The Knicks ain't won since Willis Reed, right?
Yeah.
Right. Back in the early '70s. So
Clyde Frazier.
And they don't make the playoffs as much as people would have you believe, because I don't know. They got that aura, but they got that false aura.
They might have won in '94 one for OJ. Anyway, you gotta remember that.
Yo, that's as a matter of fact, Knicks fans use that. Matter of fact, shout out to the mayor. One of the shows on our network, I was listening to his show this morning, the one from last night, and he actually said that. He was like, yo, our best team was in '94. If it wasn't for OJ, we would have won that. And I don't really get the correlation, but...
You got to watch that. It's a documentary on it, 30 for 30. Watch that. You'll see what's up.
OJ messed the NBA Finals up, man. Man, Vinny, we got some work to do, man. Our Lakers stink, man.
John?
I said our Lakers stink. We got some work to do, but I think we'll be there. We'll see, man.
They got to work from for this one.
Yeah, man. Hey, Vinny, thanks for the call, though, homie.
All right, Jimmy. Keep up the good work, man.
All right, you all right. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, man.
Yep.
All right.
Yo, I heard the mayor say that on the John. I was like, yo, they really blame OJ for them losing. Like he bust up in the garden with his Bronco and crashed over.
you know,
and ran over Allen Houston's ankle.
I mean, here's the thing about sports, right? This is why sports is literally the greatest form of entertainment, because there are so many things that go into play, whether it be momentum, home court, home field. There's so many things at play. Sports is the true definition of drama. So I understand why they say that, but that's still BS, the whole OJ thing. Like, that's still BS. I get it, but it's still BS. But the fact of the matter is, if you just look at the record books, which is why stats and numbers do lie. For instance, I heard a Sixers fan today. This is no lie. We beat the Heat last night. I said, are you serious? LeBron and Bosh didn't play. But here's the thing, though. If you just happen to look at the numbers and the stats, the Sixers did beat the Heat last night. But there's context to everything.
Actually, the Sixers bookended their season with wins over the Heat. They started off with a win over the Heat.
I'm about to write a book called CTE, not the CTE y'all thinking about. Yo, context to everything. Anyway.
Exactly.
That's the new CTE. But
it's good that you had an acronym, because I thought you were just saying it because the book was going to be about calling fans stupid. But
that too. There you go, double entendre right there. What else is going on there?
Slow it down.
Right, so,
I just ditched you.
Y'all know Michael Phelps is going to get his Michael Phelps on again. Yeah, definitely. He's unretiring. The crazy part about it is the news seems sudden, but you have to put in for whatever you got to do to swim competitively. You got to do that 6 months in advance. So this isn't new.
He's been working out.
He's probably been working out already. Yeah, he's already been working out.
He's been working out for a
trying
year.
to get back in shape. So what do you guys think are his reasons? I mean, I know the simple answer could be, he's an athlete. You retire, plus he's not even 30 yet. But in his sport, he's an old man. But why do you guys think he's coming back?
I know. Because he never really, from the jump street, planned to actually get completely out of the sport. I think that the whole energy surrounding his run in the Olympics and the medals, it got to be a little bit much. And I'm not mad at him. He was just like, look, I need a break. I need to take some time.
I want to smoke.
I don't feel the same passion, and I want to smoke. Yeah, and I want to smoke. I like marijuana.
And people laugh at that. That's probably real talk. You probably wanted to live his life without testing for a little while.
Without the pressure of when are you getting back in the pool? When are you getting back in the pool? So if he say, look, I'm retired, then you can't really ask him those questions. All you can say is what could have been, what would have been.
I think
he
personally
has a smoke break, and now he's done. He said, yo, I'm still young. I'm still athletic. Let me get back in the pool and show these people what I could do again.
I think reefer may be a part of it, but I also think that what you said initially, B. Austin, is true. The whole that's the old school thing, right? Yeah, reefer may have been a part of it, but
reefer and pot.
But what B. Austin said initially, I think is probably true. Like the hype around him and the way his whole narrative started to be told, that's a bit much for anybody. So I think he kind of wanted to fall back because his personality doesn't seem like the kind of guy that embraces the spotlight like that. But the problem I'm going to have with this, there's nowhere to go but down, yo. Like, your legacy was intact. You were being called the greatest Olympian ever. I mean, you dominated.
I don't agree with that.
No, I'm not saying that he won't do well.
Because that is the big argument.
He's
I don't think his
competing against
legacy can
himself
be
at this
touched right
point.
now.
But what I'm saying is he's competing against himself.
But I don't think,
he's not
like
competing
with
against
swimming
other
too, I don't think swimming is even the kind of sport where, I mean, I don't really believe that legacies get tainted as much as we talk about anyway. Like, you know, we clown Michael Jordan playing for the Wizards, but we still know Michael Jordan standing in the history of the game.
Absolutely.
But especially a sport like swimming, it's not like he can go out there season after season and lose and be garbage. Like, he's swimming. If you don't qualify to make it to the big dance, which is the Olympics, which is the only time most people ever watch a swimming event in their lives, you know, if you don't make it, okay, you don't make it. You're not even a part of the Olympic narrative. If you do make it and you don't win medals like you've been used to winning, you're still going to get props for being 30-plus year old.
I don't know about that.
Once the
though.
Olympic begins
and the
making
thing is,
the journey.
I agree to a certain extent
He
that
old here for
we
swimming,
exaggerate the whole thing with ruining your legacy, but it's still a part of it. Like, if Jordan leaves on that last shot against the Jazz, that's like, that's a storybook ending. That's a whole lot different than him coming back with the Wizards and you know, being the most
how many people hold it against him?
To your point,
everybody we talk to still
say
he's the greatest they've ever seen.
Phelps has been in the pool for 12 months and he's already competed. Nobody knows it. He's already competed.
I'm not saying that, but here's my thing, B. Austin. Let's say he goes to the Olympics. The last time he was in the Olympics, how many gold medals did he win?
He got a total. I don't know how many he won last time. I know he's got a total of 22 in his career.
Well, let's just say
he has 22 medals. He has 18 golds. Remember, the big one was Beijing, where he won 8.
Yeah.
So this time around, he didn't win as many golds. So he was already kind of.
He still won like 6, though, didn't he?
He was already in decline.
Something like that.
But let's just say he wins like 5 bronze medals.
You talking about
like
total medals?
Because
he didn't win 6 golds.
I'm talking about medals. How many medals did he win last time? Well, regardless of whatever it is.
I'll look it up.
Regardless of whatever it is, let's just say he wins 3 bronze medals. For an average swimmer, right, that's like, I went to the Olympics and I won 3 medals. For Michael Phelps, in the world that we live in, this social media world, it's like, he will be the subject of memes for winning 3 medals because he set the bar so high, he's competing against Michael Phelps.
But he's also competing against Father Time, and people have to realize.
Yeah, but no one cares about that. No one cares that if Kobe comes back next year and averages 10 points, no one cares that Kobe's a gazillion years old.
Hold on. What you're doing now is acknowledging the idiots and giving them free reign, and the reality is time adjusts for everything. And what I mean by that is the age that we live in right now, which is the culture of immediacy, yes, those memes will come. Yes, those things will be said. But what happens is, as you move away from that in a vacuum, time has a way of helping that out because now you don't know. Like, use Kobe as an example. You sort of, his polarizing effect on people subsides, and now you're left with more of an objective analysis of his accomplishments and the film. And so now you don't have to deal necessarily with public sentiment because what you're essentially saying is the way that idiocy dominates through this immediacy is a permanent thing. And I think that it exists only in the short term. In the long term,
it does
wears
sometimes,
off.
but here's the thing. We also live in a world where facts don't even matter really. Like, it's all about perception these days. And sometimes
that's to me. I mean, because Jim, he goes somewhere
look at the
and
arguments
wins.
we have in relation to say Wilt or a player from the past. Those things carry on through time. That's exactly my point. That's exactly those things carry on
but
time. Facts don't matter. It's like, yo, what the perception is what matters.
But even everybody who tries to discredit Wilt Chamberlain, they're not going to name.
Yeah.
They're not going to name a top 10 in basketball history, and his name is not going to be in it.
I've seen it.
So I've
probably seen it as
people
well.
just like to.
Wilt,
but Jim, he won. He won 4 golds. Hold up, he won 4 golds and 2 silvers in London.
Oh, so what?
So
6
he
I
was
know
still
it's 6
killing
something.
it a little bit.
Yeah, so let's just say he
no,
does
but
like
I still
bronze.
ill.
I still think because it's one of those
even
things. If he goes and wins 3 bronzes,
talk about LeBron.
Damn.
Yo.
Go ahead. When we talk, when the younger generation starts having these conversations, and it's LeBron and it's Kevin Durant, when you sit them down and you explain to them what Wilt was, and you have the ability to show them things, even they eventually come around and are like, oh wow, get a little bit into the history book. Let me really respect.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Wilt, though, because you can't show them anything. You can't really show them anything, as far as video is concerned with Wilt. But every in the generation after
they know
that,
what
good.
37.
But what I was
they
about
know
to say with Mike
is.
Phelps, it's like if Mike Phelps comes out and wins 3 bronzes, or if he comes out and doesn't medal at all, that doesn't take away from the 22 medals that he's already won in Olympic competition.
No, I agree
everybody
with that.
gets old. Everybody gets old, and a lot of people They stay a little too long, but
almost everybody
I don't think
does.
It is.
Almost everybody does. I mean, Kobe's what we're talking about now. We've been talking about for the last couple of years, like whether he's staying too long or not. Almost everybody does. But I'm just saying, if he just left right now, it's still perfect. Even though he did 4 and 2, that was still crazy for him to do 4 and 2 because at that age, at that time, no one thought he would do 4 and 2. Remember the whole thing about the other guy.
He's only getting in the pool. He's only getting in the pool this time around for 3 events: the 100 butterfly, the 100 free, and the 200. He's only
gonna keep it safe.
If you go,
I ain't gonna dominate all these other Jones.
But if you remember beforehand, at the narrative going into the last Olympics was Ryan Lochte is the new guy. You know what I'm saying?
Lochte.
And he wiped the floor
like
with
Hashim. He's like Hashim Samshi. Like Ryan Lochte.
He got dealt with.
And he started strong. And then he just, I don't know, he just sold out.
Yeah,
but
he got stirred.
Well,
but what I'm saying is like, so I don't know, man. I like to see dudes just go out like that mystique. Or like if I could come back, but
so why don't you like
I mean,
Sanders?
I used to be on that narrative as well, but I also understand that dudes who are ultra competitive, it's hard to just give it up. But I don't think it'll mess him up. Like you said, people are going to talk in the moment while it's happening, like, oh, this bull garbage, he messed it up. But then, once the dust settles and they go back on his accomplishments,
time heals all
what
wounds.
are you going to be
I
able
get
to
it.
say?
Right. I get it.
So,
right.
I also think.
All right, but
anyway.
Okay. I was about to say, remember, last week we talked about the Ultimate Warrior dying. His autopsy, the results came back, and they said he had heart disease, cardiovascular disease. So that's why Ultimate Warrior is gone. I don't know if steroids could lead to heart disease, because that's the speculation from everybody that's not in the medical world. These guys pump themselves so full of steroids. You have no idea what the effect is on you. But again, like last week, shout out to and rest in peace to Ultimate Warrior. Donald Trump wants to buy the Buffalo Bills. Go ahead.
Real quick, gentlemen, we got an update in our chat room from Jetty Mar. The Flyers are currently winning 1-0. So
let's go Flyers.
We try and get a parade any way possible.
Ask Jetty Mar if Eric Lindros scored.
So we know the last time P. Austin has watched hockey, he just referenced Eric Lindros. But anyway,
my bad.
Yo, I will go to a parade for a Philadelphia badminton team. So
for
the Philadelphia Soul.
The Philadelphia Soul are a competitive team, though. Let's not get it twisted. They won a chip.
They already won one. I missed that parade. Did they have one?
No, the parade was like at Walmart, though.
In the parking lot.
And the people there didn't know they were at a parade. They thought they were just shopping. Like, what's this? Why is Ron Jaworski and why is he here?
You said Donald Trump wants to buy the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, he wants to buy the Bills. And everybody knows, with the whole sale of the Bills, people are expecting it to be moved to Los Angeles. But Donald Trump says he's committed to making a serious run at buying the Bills, and he said if he gets them, he's going to keep them in Western New York. Do y'all believe him, first of all? And do y'all think he has a good chance?
Thurman Thomas is turning over in his grave. Donald Trump will probably be the only person to buy an NFL team and not make money.
Bankrupted.
Bankrupt the Bills.
Well, no, let's correct that. He will make money. The organization may not make money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. He'll squeeze and pinch money out of it, and then run the whole thing in the ground. Right. But with that being said, man, Ralph Wilson did his thing for a long time.
Put it next to
Rest
the stadium.
in peace, Ralph Wilson, man.
Yeah, see, I remember in 1983, Trump, he bought the New Jersey Generals for the was that the USFL?
Yeah, and then ran that whole league in the ground.
They give him the blame for running the USFL in the ground because he was a part of the committee to lead the charge to change the games from the spring to the fall, which went directly up against the NFL.
Compete.
And
he
the
wanted
league
to
folded.
compete.
I mean, I can see what he's saying, man, because, that's not football weather. You want to play in football weather, but at the same time, being the businessman that he is, you have to know you're not going up against the NFL.
I thought you would like that. Doesn't that show competitive greatness? He says, forget trying to be the other league. Let's compete heads up. Isn't that what competitive greatness is about?
No, that is not competitive. That's competitive stupidity.
Yeah, but the NFL wasn't the machine that it is now, so it was worth a shot, right?
No. What Jimmy's trying to justify Sugar Ray Leonard getting in the ring with Mike Tyson. No, that just can't work.
Now here's the thing though. Jetty Mars says spring football was the ish back in the day, but what do you think about this? He also said he think NFL owners will vote against him owning the Bills. Do you think they'll vote against him?
Yes.
I think they might because at this point he's bringing too much of a.
People don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, he's bringing too much of a show. He's Donald Trump, the reality star billionaire now.
Exactly. Out of all the owners of different various sports organizations, it seems like the NFL is the most conservative. Like I know they didn't want Mark Cuban. They try to keep Cuban out of it because
I can tell you why. I can tell you why too.
Because they're making money hand over fist while putting people in the grave.
If I give you an NFL franchise,
it'd be Jerry Jones times 5.
It's akin to me giving you a printing press for dollar bills. Like you can print your own money. So they real tight with that. They don't care about the NBA franchises. You make a little bit of money. Go ahead and go play. Go tell people you own a team. But when you own an NFL franchise,
it depends,
or a soccer,
unless you own
I know. You just,
but
you can't put it in general
unless
terms
you
like
own,
that.
Unless you own the Detroit Lions, though. So they reported
you gonna tell me
they reported a $3.5 million loss last year. So.
There's 1 out of 30. There's 1 out of 30.
You'd rather own the Jacksonville Jaguars than the Los Angeles Lakers?
No, they're the only one who took a loss, but everybody ain't printing money. Shoot, the Niners went to the Super Bowl in 2012 and only made $10 million.
Yo, the Niners made like $10,000 and went to the bowl. Like now, at the same time, the Dallas Cowboys made like $250 million that same year.
Yeah, let's not
Cowboys didn't make enough money to buy a brick.
Let's not sneeze at $10 million above the black line, and then also we're smart guys, so we know that just because your tax returns say or your financials say you had a loss doesn't mean that you didn't cash flow.
I mean, your expenses could have been through the roof while you were stealing money. I get that.
Everybody still got paid. Exactly. Everybody still got paid.
If you look at the NBA,
you waste your own pocket.
If you look at the NBA versus the NFL, we're not going to do the Harrington and then pick the Lakers because the Lakers are the end-all be-all of sports franchises.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are anomalies in that whole logic that because my thing is there are probably 10 teams in the NBA I'd rather have than the Jaguars. Like there really is. I don't think the Jaguars have sold out of games since they've been in the league.
No, I wouldn't say
I'm
that.
exaggerating. I know I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating. My point is that they have trouble.
But Jimmy, just because the Jaguars have problems in terms of the ticket sales, I don't know what the revenue sharing looks like, and I don't know what their TV contract is like. I don't know. So I don't know that they don't make money.
Oh, they're one of the more struggling franchises, which is why.
Look, we clown the Clippers all the time. And all three of us will gladly clown Donald Sterling. But Donald Sterling
get bread. I know that.
Yeah,
he's been one of the most profitable owners since he's been in the league.
But we're talking about franchises that aren't getting Donald Sterling bread. There are some NFL, like, everybody is just painting that broad brush over the NFL. I just had this discussion with somebody last week and had to, pull up a whole lot of proof to them that every single NFL franchise isn't, in fact, printing money. And
because some stay afloat just because of the TV contract, but they don't print money the way that most people think. When you actually look into it and break down the numbers,
the Cowboys
I saw the conversation Deb was talking about. The Cowboys are a printing press. They make more money than anybody in sports. But I'm just saying, when you start breaking down the numbers, like, you made it to the bowl and your profit was $10 million, and that same year the Cowboys, I don't even know if they made the playoffs, and they made like $250 million. Like, there's levels.
I mean, and a lot of that with the Niners may have had something to do with a stadium being under construction at the time. Stuff like that. But, it's just not. The league is definitely making money hand over fist, but everybody just assumes that means every single team is just out there printing money, and that's very far from the truth. There's a couple.
This is true, and this whole thing started about Donald Trump. So how do we get all the way here?
Donald Trump going bankrupt.
I love the dough.
Let's talk, Tim. Let's talk some NBA real quick. Let me tell everybody what they can do to check us out, though. Y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com. To call in and speak with us about any of today's topics, dial the Digital Extreme Text hotline at 323-410-0012. Just press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1. If you would like to speak, you may speak.
You already know.
All right.
NBA Rap is brought to you by Fanatics. For the best in your favorite team's merchandise and apparel, shop Fanatics. Shopping Fanatics is easy. Just go to our site at warroomsports.com. Click on the Fanatics logo. You can cop some gear, NBA, NFL, NHL. Go get you a Swaggy P jersey. You know what I'm saying? So go to Fanatics right from the warroomsports.com website and, get whatever it is you're looking for. At any rate, gentlemen. Shout out to Curtis Blow.
Wow.
Bars this week. First thing I want to talk about in reference to basketball. The last one here, gentlemen, NBA Players of the Week, and it's not, the ordinary, but we have some gentlemen such as Jeff Teague and Monte Ellis winning the Players of the Week. Dev, what's their stats?
It's not the ordinary because it's the last week of the season and all the real superstars are sitting out. But Monte Ellis, he averaged 25.7 points, 4.7 assists, and 4 rebounds. And, that 3-game stretch that he averaged these numbers in helped the Dallas Mavericks lock down their playoff berth. Jeff Teague and the Hawks went 3-1 last week. He averaged 20.3 points, 5.8 assists, 1.7 steals, and Atlanta also clinched a playoff berth and are probably going to take that early exit. They're playing. Atlanta got Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, listen, man.
Yeah. Even though Indiana is playing like trash, early exit time for Atlanta. But shout out to Jeff Teague and Monte Ellis.
You act like Atlanta ain't in America, man. They don't give a fuck. Anyway, listen though, real quick about both of these players. Anytime Monte Ellis averages 5 assists, go get Guinness because that's tremendous. Because Monte Ellis.
That's why he wins the joint every time he does.
Anytime he averages 5 assists, he wins like the Player of the Week, and that's over the last couple of years. Because Monte Ellis is what I like to call a Call of Duty guard, because he's all about pulling them guns out, and he doesn't pass the ball. So shout out to Monte Ellis for averaging 5 assists. In terms of Jeff Teague, I have to be honest. I watched him play a lot. Don't ask why I watched him play, because they come on the league pass, and even though the league stinks, I still try to watch. But Jeff Teague,
you try to get your money's worth.
Pretty much. They should give it away for free next year. That's how bad it is. Anyway, but Jeff Teague is a better pro player than I thought he would be. I have to give him credit for that because even before winning this award, just watching him throughout the season, he's a solid guy. He's a solid player.
Agree.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Yeah, I've always thought Monte Ellis's limitations come from probably where his IQ lands as opposed to his physical ability.
Make that judgment.
Because if it's not IQ, then it's selfish nature, maybe. I don't know, maybe a combination of both. I think Monte Ellis can do just about damn near anything on a basketball court. But it doesn't seem to translate to wins. It doesn't get him wins. Like, dude,
I don't know what you're seeing. All he can do is shoot. That's all he does do is shoot. My man, 6 foot nothing, and he's a gun.
Scoring is a big part of the game.
I understand that.
Scoring is a big part of the game.
I understand that. That's how they determine who wins and who loses.
The main cog.
But anyway, by the way, shout out to
the Mavericks. Because y'all know, of course. Y'all know Dirk won it last week, so this is the first time in Mavericks history that they got the back-to-back NBA Players of the Week. That's not really that important.
Well, that's interesting. I thought Rolando Blackman and that. Never mind. Anyway, man.
What about
those are the players of the week.
Jimmy Jackson and Jamal Mashburn. They didn't do that.
Those are the players of the week. Now, one thing we have to do is give out our War Room Sports season awards for the National Basketball Association. Before I get you gentlemen's picks, those awards are the Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Man of the Year, the Rookie of the Year, and the big one, the Most Valuable Poet on the mic. Most Valuable Player. With that being said, B. Austin, give us your Coach of the Year.
I was going to go with Dwayne Casey. Shout out to him for having Toronto in it, but I'm on Popovich for that.
Whoa.
The consistency.
Yeah.
Very consistent.
Okay. Absolutely. Now, what about your defense? Matter of fact, let's give us all your awards. Who you got for Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Man, Rookie, etc.? Give us your awards.
Defensive Player of the Year. Honorable mention to Roy Hibbert because I think he had a heck of a season overall. But because of that team coming unglued over the course of the last month and a half, 2 months, I think Joakim Noah slid in there and took that Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved, shout out to Lance Stevenson, shout out to Gerald Green, but I'm going with Devs player Goran Dragic. Goran! What else do we have here? Most Valuable Player, Kevin Durant, far and away. What's left? What am I missing here?
Sixth Man and Rookie of the Year.
Sixth Man, Rookie.
Sixth Man for me is going to be Jamal Crawford until he either ends up starting or he hangs him up. So every year it's Jamal Crawford. That's my vote. Shout out to Manu and shout out to Marquise Morris of the Suns. Philly support Philly, but I gotta go with Jamal.
Like PSP, but I'm picking somebody else.
Philly support Philly, but I ain't messing with you though. Rookie of the Year, MCW. Shout out Victor Oladipo and the Plumlees, because the Plumlees are balling, particularly the gentleman in Brooklyn. But I'm going with MCW. All right, no doubt. I'll go through mine very fast. Sixth Man of the Year, and I got mine written down in a different order. Be awesome. I'm just gonna throw them out there as I got them. Sixth Man of the Year. I'm actually, it's a couple cats that I thought. Jamal Crawford is always in the discussion. Manu kind of bounced back, but I'm going with Taj Gibson. I was very impressed with the way he played this season. The Bulls, I don't even want to say missing Derrick Rose because he don't even play for them no more. Derrick Rose don't even play basketball no more. But Taj Gibson did a great job this year, which leads me to the Defensive Player of the Year. I also have Noah. Because his defense and their team defense is the reason that they still made the playoffs. So they're very impressive. I was actually going to pick Thibodeau for Coach of the Year, But like I said last year, yo, there's like a thing in sports where you become so good that what you do just kind of gets overlooked because you're supposed to do it. Like sort of like Bill Belichick and Popovich falls into that same category. Phil Jackson did, where these guys didn't get the awards because they were just expected to win. But I was very impressed with the way the Spurs played this season, particularly after having that loss to the Heat the way they did. I mean, they had the championship won. I was impressed with the way they even came back in Game 7 because if I was on that team, I would have been so pissed at Game 6. I wouldn't have been able to compete in Game 7. But not only did they compete, they came back this year and had a hell of a season. So Popovich will be my coach of the year for that. Rookie of the year, I'm also going with MCW. That's not a homer pick. It's just the fact that him and Oladipo were the most impressive rookies. And he got a lot of chance to grow and play because the team stunk like trash truck juice. So I think because of that, he'll be – and also I was very impressed with just him in general. I didn't think he would be as good as he is, honestly. And, you know, we said that from night one of watching the NBA. What else am I missing? Most improved player. There were a couple players that could have got this. I agree with B. Austin that Goran is the man, but I'm going with Anthony Davis because although he was
not
a top
mad at
pick,
that at all.
He's a top pick and expected to be good. I didn't expect him to be this good this fast. Like, his game is definitely improved. Like, it's just improved. People a lot of times, when they try to pick their most improved player, try to pick someone who really wasn't that good and became good. But sometimes, you just get better, even though you're already good. If that makes any sense.
I ain't even mad. I'm not. I think that's a great pick.
Thank you, good brother. All right, my MVP. My MVP. I'm also going to go with Kevin Durant. Like,
I would disagree.
I mean, a lot of people are going to say that Kevin Durant is the pick because they don't want to keep giving it to LeBron. But Kevin Durant, the way he played this year, he looked like he was a ringer, yo. Let's just keep it real. But with that being said, you can always give it to LeBron any year because he's that good of a player. But there's one reason why I'm going with Kevin Durant over LeBron, yo. You know what that is?
He had a better season. Tell us.
Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it. We got it. Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it. We got it. It's a damn shame that you ever doubted. Doubt it. Come roll with us, 'cause you know we got it. We got it. Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it. We got it. Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to cut it off right there, yo. LeBron, you got to chill.
Come on, Brian.
LeBron,
that's
LeBron,
on Pop Rock and Tootsie Pop.
Stop yo. 16s, man. You lost the MVP when that came out.
Yo, that's Pop Rocks and Tootsie Rocks level. Yo, Pop Rocks and Tootsie Pop.
LeBron lost the MVP when that got released, yo. You know we got it.
LeBron,
you know we
like
got it.
You said, yo, how can you be a Richard Rider in LeBron's position, man? Like, how much extra weight does he put on the people whose rod he's Richard? He's riding. Because he's bringing a whole bunch of extra people to that person. Like,
yo. You know we got it.
You know he got it.
Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it.
Yo, Dev, before you give your picks, matter of fact, give your picks first. Then I'll make this point after you give your picks in case you say these guys' names. So go ahead, give your picks.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna give my picks because y'all know I got it. Coach of the year. I share the same sentiment as both of you fellas about Coach of the Year. How do the Spurs keep coming back and being this competitive? You know, they get older. You know, they got a bunch of no names on the roster. Popovich is great, but I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give it to Thibodeau because
he gets with the setup.
He has to coach through major adversity every season, it seems
Absolutely.
like. And he keeps that team afloat. Not only afloat, he keeps them in the top half of the conference when, you look at their roster and they're just not supposed to be there. So I'm going to give it to Tibbs, but definitely shout out to Popovich because he deserves it one of these years.
What do you think Popovich tells his team? What do you think Popovich tells his team when people just go down like that? Like, what do you look at your team and say, look, man, I think I know what he tells them, though.
Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it. We know we got it.
All right, my fault. Go ahead, Dad. Finish giving your pick.
All right. Boy said roll with us because you know we got it. All right, man. Real quick, man. LeBron.
You should be ashamed of
nominated for a
Defensive
JoJo
Player
Award.
of the Year. I'm going with Joakim Noah for the Defensive Player of the Year, and it has nothing to do with Roy Hibbert becoming unglued. Joakim Noah had this from start to finish. Roy Hibbert, he plays pretty good on-ball. He plays good on-ball defense, but come on, man. Rebounding is a part of the game. It's a part of defense. And when you 7'90" and you average 6 boards, I'm not giving you Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved Player, shout out to my man Goran. He was the first name I thought of, but I also had Anthony Davis.
Nice.
Kind of like what you were saying, Jimmy. He was a promising rookie who, in one season, basically turned into one of the best big men in the league. So, just like Goran Dragic, his scoring average went up by like 6. His rebounding went up. Everything about his game is improved. So I'm going to go with Anthony Davis, even though I wanted to give it to my man GD. I couldn't do that. Sixth Man of the Year, my list included Manu, Taj Gibson, and Jamal Crawford. And then when you look at Jamal Crawford averaging 18.6 points off the bench, come on, man. Where else could you go?
Yeah.
My first thought was Taj because he backs up Boozer, but he's actually played better than Boozer. He actually gets to fourth quarter minutes over Boozer, and that's really important. But I'm gonna go with Jamal Crawford. Rookie of the Year, Michael Carter Williams
off the bench.
Michael Carter Williams for my Rookie of the Year, and MVP. I'm gonna go with Kevin Durant as well. I'm not going to go cliche, though, with they can give it to LeBron every year type stuff, and they're tired of giving it to him and stuff I hear out on the streets. Kevin Durant took the MVP this year. It had nothing to do with anybody being tired of giving LeBron James the MVP.
Talk to him.
And this is just us. They still haven't given it to him. LeBron could still get it, but I think Kevin Durant went out and took it. And on the final night of the season, went out and dropped 42 points just to put a stamp on it. So I got
this is true. I mean, but LeBron's gonna have more. He's gonna win more. He's gonna win more. LeBron.
It feels right. It feels right. And to be in this position, to wear this Heat uniform every single night, we're gonna make the world know. Not just this league. We're gonna make the world know that the Heat is back.
Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it.
Yo, my man said the Heat are back.
No doubt.
Yo, where did he back to?
I
What
still
was he
think
talking about when
LeBron
he
is
said
the
the Heat are
best
back?
player in the league. But as far as MVP goes, Kevin took
But
it.
when LeBron made that statement and said the Heat are back, what was he talking about? Like, where's the Heat been that they had to come back when he went there?
Shaq and Dwayne Wade.
Come on, man. That was a flash in the pan, B. Real quick though, here's a question I have for you, gentlemen. Jetty Marr brings up a couple of names he wanted to mention. In terms of coach, what do you guys think about the job Jeff Hornacek did?
Yeah, he was actually on my short list as well. He was in my top 3.
He was on the list, yeah.
Okay, and also for most improved player,
because they fell
Drummond.
out though. I took him off my list because they fell out.
What about
I'm
Drummond
petty.
for most improved player?
Drummond.
He was most improved in the rookie game. No,
he balled.
I'm just joking. He definitely deserves to be on the list. He deserves to be on the list.
Don't deserve to win.
I wouldn't give it
win
to him, but yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I just want to throw that out there because anytime you have these season awards, there's always guys that should be mentioned.
I've heard reports on Anthony Davis he's so good now that not only do opposing teams not know what to do with him, they said that his own squad doesn't understand what to do with him because he's too good. He's ahead of schedule. They don't understand what to do.
I would disagree.
Yeah.
You would disagree?
I mean, I think the Heat know what to do with him.
Wasn't it?
Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it. Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it.
LeBron gotta stop rapping, man, because we gotta predict these first round series, man.
Most famous Richard Rider.
Let me stop. Yo, let's go real quickly over the playoffs because the playoffs are getting ready to start. All right.
We got it.
First question I have before we go into each round, what do you guys think about the Pacers going into the playoffs backwards, so to speak? Because we know that a lot of times in sports, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, whatever it is, it's not about the best team, it's about the hottest team.
and they were the best team all season, but they are not hot right now at all. And, it's all Evan Turner's fault. But with that being said, what do you guys think about the Pacers and their chances now going into the playoffs the way they are?
Of course, because of what I think of the Eastern Conference, and even with that thought, you look at everything on paper, and the East really did end up with some pretty good matchups in the playoffs. But from what I think about the conference, I think they have time to get it back together. I was never really on the bandwagon of, the Pacers are here and they're ready right now, they're going to beat the Heat. I was never sure about that in the first place. So I still think that they have time to get it together, and they'll probably still end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I was never, convinced that they were going to beat the Heat anyway. But
now,
I think they'll be okay.
I know
Atlanta's a tune-up.
The Heat in the beginning of the season. So be all said. I know Dev. Dev picked it. Dev had the Bulls in the finals. But with that being said, I know B. Austin was high on the Pacers before B. Austin was high on the Pacers before the season even started, and you picked them to beat the Heat. Do you still feel the same way?
I'm gonna stick with my pick.
Don't sound too confident though.
What's wrong with these, man? They're coming on good. They need to stop paying strippers when they get the stripper pregnant. And Roy Hibbert is on Twitter on his Top Guy routine, and Evan Turner shooting the ball too. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know.
So you're just not as confident in your pick anymore, basically.
I'm not as confident in my pick, but I'm sticking with that pick because I think the potential and the talent is still there. I think the Heat probably looking at this.
We might have crowned them too early.
They licking their chops. I think the Heat are looking at the Pacers play lately and just basically saying like, "Yo."
Roll with us, 'cause you know we got it.
All right, but with that being said, though, that's one of the big things everybody wants to see with the playoffs is what's going to happen with the Pacers. So, all right, but
we might have crowned the Pacers and maybe Paul George a little too early. That's what
we thought they were. That's what
we thought they were.
But they want to crown them. They crown their ass.
But we let them off the
hook.
But the Pacers played. The Pacers have Atlanta. Miami has Charlotte. Toronto, who's a 3 seed, believe it or not. Yo, me and Dev were in Toronto. What was that, like a couple years ago? We all were in Toronto. But remember when we were in Toronto, me, Dev, and B. Austin, and they were selling like season tickets to the Raptors for like $12? Like
I know. Grab some of them.
Now they're a 3 seed. We went and got dinner at a restaurant. It was like for $5 more you can have season tickets. We was like, damn. But
we like, nah, we cool.
we turned it down. Like, no, we don't even want them. But now they're a 3 seed. Yo. Anyway, so Toronto versus Brooklyn is the 3-6 matchup. The 4-5 is Chicago versus Washington. Are you guys going all chalk, or you think there'll be any upsets in the first round?
Yo, Toronto could be. Toronto could be. They're still Toronto, though. They're still Toronto.
All right, any upsets there?
Yeah, I mean,
seeding-wise.
I think. Well, in the Eastern Conference, I think I'm all chalk with it, but I think the matchups, even though we crapped on the Eastern Conference all season, I think the matchups are going to be tight. Like the Chicago-Washington series, for instance, I think Chicago might pull that out in 6 games, but I think Washington is going to give them a tough 6 games, like close games. They're not going to get, they're not going to get outclassed because Washington could, potentially turn the tide and win this series because the Bulls, their scoring is basically anemic. So I'm not going to count Washington out, but pressed to make a pick, I think I go Chicago in 6.
What about the old heads in Brooklyn?
Games. I got them in 6 over scary. Toronto. And that's
You got them over Toronto?
Because they're scary either way, though, B.O. I think they're scary both ways. I think it's scary, like, if they can possibly get it together right now at the right time and make a serious run at it, or Toronto can come in there and run their old asses out of the building. So I'm going to go with Brooklyn with that. So I guess that's my upset. That's
your upset.
I'm going to go Brooklyn
seeding-wise, that's 3-6. That's a 6 seed winning. So you going all favorites? You got any upsets?
I'll go. That is my upset as well. I just don't believe. I believe that DeMar DeRozan is here. I love Kyle Lowry, but I think that playoff experience that Brooklyn has is going to be a little bit much for them, and I think that they can get it together.
Toronto, we don't believe you. You need more people.
That's pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just to breeze through real fast, I think that stands out to probably everybody as the possible upset because you have to give them some
Miami
points for having that playoff experience. Yeah, Miami, get them out of
Miami
here.
in 5 over Charlotte. Indiana in 5 over Atlanta for me.
All right, before we get out of here,
you giving Charlotte a game?
Hold up, y'all. Let me go over the Western Conference because of time. But San Antonio is playing Dallas. That's the 1 seed. San Antonio 1 seed playing Dallas. OKC the 2 seed playing Memphis the 7 seed. We have, listen to this one, the 3-seeded Los Angeles Clippers playing the DeBarge family, the Golden State Warriors. We have Houston playing Portland. 4 versus 5. So what do you guys think about the Western Conference? Any upsets coming over here, Dev?
Well, let me just give you my picks real quick. I'll be brief. The hardest ones for me to pick was the 4-5 matchup, Houston and Portland, and the 2-7 matchup with OKC and Memphis. I don't think OKC matches up that well with Memphis. I'm picking OKC to win that in 7 games, just like I'm picking Houston to win against Portland in 7 games. But I can easily see, even though OKC did everything they did this season and Kevin Durant is balling, I can easily see at playoff time, like they did before, I can see OKC having a matchup problem with Memphis. But I'm going to go with the favorites in those series in 7 games. I got the Clippers in 6 over Golden State and San Antonio in 6 over Dallas. So, no, I'm all chalk in the Western Conference, even though some of these matchups were the hardest ones for me to pick because, I really do think that upsets are possible in this conference.
I'm interested to see where B. Austin goes in one series because we got one of his homies, who is Jamal Crawford, playing against his other homie, and the Barnes brothers. I had some problems. B. Austin, who you got? The Clippers versus Golden State.
Normally I don't roll with the lighter complexion, but I'm going with my light skinned brothers because
educated
I
brothers
just don't believe in. Yeah, I don't believe Donald Sterling. I don't believe that. I think Chris Paul in playoff situations can be a little overrated.
I've been thinking about you for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yo, on my mind every day is every night. All right, my fault. In the Western Conference, I'm rolling out with the San Antonio Spurs. I'm taking OKC. I'm taking the Clippers, and I'm taking Portland. So the only lower seed I have winning is Portland because I'm a huge fan of Aldridge because he's that dude Lillard. So.
Yeah. No, I'm taking Portland.
I'm not mad at that Portland pick either.
Well, yeah, because Dwight is a coward, and until the beard shows that he can get some heart in a playoff situation, depending on what gang and what set shows up, they start throwing them gang signs. Deshaun Jackson show up, my man the beard Harden might shrivel up. This might be the stage for Damian Lillard to show y'all why he just got a $100 million sneaker contract too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dame might be out there. That's a series that I'm really interested in watching though. I can tell you that. That's going to be one of the joints I'm glued to.
Before we get out of here, man, it's a couple things that I got to say, man. I'm looking forward to these playoffs in general because this is when the NBA gets great. Overall, I picked the Heat to win the championship, and LeBron agrees.
Roll with us, you know we got it.
Had to say that before we get out of here. And also have to tell you gentlemen one last thing before we get out of here.
On the spot dice spin.
Shelby? On the spot decision.
Yeah, that's it.
On the
joining us again, the War Room good folks. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, those Facebook and Twitter, all the callers who chimed in. We got a chance to bring you on. We appreciate it. Those we didn't get a chance to, we apologize. We'll be back next week. Special thanks to Greg Wyshynski of Yahoo Sports for joining us to talk NHL playoffs. Tune in next week, same time, same place, live right here, or on demand at the War Room Sports Podcast Network. Check us out, as well as all of our other shows, Tissue in the Tape, Hoop Girls, everybody, the Broad Street Line. Shout out to everybody. So check us out, WRSPN.com. Until then, enjoy your week. Remember, Facebook, Twitter, at War Room Sports, WarRoomSportsTV.com for all the video content. And as we always say, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance. We'll see you chumps on top.
Jimmy, know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Des, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, tip stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Portrait secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dez, TJ, Shot Back, B. Austin. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
Go ahead. On the spot dice spin.
No. Shelby?
War Room Sports. www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.